Blog Talk Radio.
Everybody, welcome to Soul Sister Show with hosts Sue and Anne. And today we have Thursday, February 4th, 2021. And we are a live call-in radio show, so you can call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 213 943-3587. And you can call us for questions or just chat with us, share a spiritual story with us, whatever you want, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. And if you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. Or you can also listen live on a player and text chat with us in the chat room during all our shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And I'm Anne, coming to you live from Rhodes in Greece. And actually, we had a marvelous day today. It's 8 p.m. here, so it's evening here. But we had, I think it was up to 19 degrees Celsius, almost a Swedish summer day in February. Wonderful. And on today's show, we will talk about Soul Realignment and the Akashic Records. What are they? Plus your calls for questions and free mini readings live on air. And we would just love to talk to you. So call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number. And we are a live call-in worldwide radio broadcasting today from Arizona in the U.S. and Rhodes in Greece, in Europe. And if you haven't listened to our show before, we are the show that are passionate about soul realignment, the Akashic Records, and soul healing and healing modalities in general. But we are also, of course, we love to talk about all spiritual topics. And on today's show, we will talk about soul realignment and the Akashic Records. What are they? That's an intriguing question, isn't it? Plus your calls for questions and mini readings live on air. And again, we would love to talk to you, so call in at 213-943-3587, 213-943-3587. And international callers dial +1 before the number, and if you want to talk with us live on the show and calling in, press 1. Or why not join us in the chat room at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. And actually, you can find us on YouTube as well. Search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube. And please subscribe and like our videos. And you can keep yourself updated on upcoming shows on YouTube. And also listen to full past episodes. Now let me bring on my co-host for Soul Sisters, my beautiful Soul Sister, Sue, all the way from Arizona in the U.S. Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm good, Sissy. All the way from sunny Arizona. No more rain.
Sun. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think it's the same here. Exactly the same here.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. We both end up with the same exact weather each time. If you notice that, and you're out.
Yes.
You're an island basically, and we're a desert, and we both end up with the same temperatures and whether we're having rain or cold. It seems to be exactly the same. I wonder
yes, it is actually.
If we drew a ley line on the map to see if our ley lines line up between all the way from Arizona to Greece. We'll have to look at that.
Yeah,
Just a thought.
I think we are. Yeah, I think we are almost at the same ley line. Maybe I don't know. Now you got me intrigued. I have to check that out too. But we actually had rain for quite a few days, and it's unusual here that it's raining many days in a row, but we also had wind. And what do you call those ice things that are falling from the sky? Now everybody will hazel? Hail. Okay.
Hail, yeah. Yep. And guess
so
what,
now,
I had the same thing. We had hail here too.
Yeah.
And wind.
So here we had 10 minutes rain, 10 minutes the wind blowing, I mean really blowing, and 10 minutes of hail, and then 10 minutes rain again, and it went on for 24 hours.
Yeah, right. No, mine didn't go. My hail didn't go on that long, but we had rain for, about 4 or 5 days in a row. So, and look, we need it out here in the desert because during the summer, this past summer, we had maybe one day out of the whole summer that we had rain, and that's during the summer here is our time to have a lot of wind and rain because we get the they call them the haboobs here. We get the storms that come up from Mexico, and the air, the winds and air change. So yeah, we had no rain during the summer. So I guess we're making up for it.
I actually, because Sweden, we are very used to having rain over there, so I was very tired of rain. And usually people complain because it's raining a lot, and it can rain for weeks in a row.
Yeah, right.
Even in summertime, and you just want to have a little bit of a sun, don't you? And I actually learned to appreciate rain when I came here in Rhodes, because usually in summertime it can be 4 or 5 months when you don't see a drop of rain, nothing. Nothing.
Yep. Yeah, we have the same issue here, so I completely understand.
So, everybody listening to us, we are waiting for you. We are eager to talk to you. So get your spot in the queue now. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and you can call us for questions, to chat with us, ask anything about spiritual topics, or why not get a free mini reading live on air. And to talk with us live on the show, press 1. You can also go to scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, where you can listen live and text chat with us during our shows. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue for a personal paid reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And of course, there is a lot more you can find out about Scrolls of the Soul Radio at scrollsofthesoul.com. And before we move on with today's show, let's recap what the last show was all about. That was a wonderful show.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Last week we had, I'm going to butcher her last name too, Carla Van Rosberg, how do you say that?
Rensburg, I think.
Rensburg.
I'm not sure. Yes.
Yeah, and she's from from Africa, from southern Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, and she was quite amazing. She's new on the scene. I think she said she's just been kind of out of the spiritual closet for about 6 months. And you found her. I think it was on YouTube, one of her videos on YouTube. And she's just really...
I found her. I connected with her on Facebook, actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, she's just really amazing. She's just vibrant and full of energy, and you can just tell she has that natural, very natural ability. And it was quite interesting last week. I think we brought up, if I remember, oh God, I'm brain farting. Geez, I forgot what the topic was. Yeah, totally brain farted on the topic. But
actually, we talked with Carla and we discussed heart-centered living.
Okay, yeah.
And how you can live from your heart and things you can do. And she shared her story also. I think that was really intriguing. And if you would like to connect with Carla, you can always find the radio blog for the past shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/past. And this is just last week, so you can find the post there, and there are connection details. So, Carla, sorry, Sissy.
No, that's okay. I've got actually her website, www.lunascension, I believe, .com, LUNASCENTION.com. That was one of her sites, I believe, and then she's on YouTube as well. So it was a very good show. She just has some amazing energy, and it's nice to have new people on the scene.
I actually post the links to Carla once again in the chat room, so if anyone wants to connect with her, you can find it at scrollsofthesoul.com/live. I sound really like a commercial, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You're a commercial today. All right. So, would you like to get into our topic today, Sissy? Was there anything else you wanted to state before we got into the topic?
No. I think it's okay.
Okay. So every month we bring up something with Soul Realignment, something in an area with Soul Realignment and the Akashic Records. Because basically Soul Realignment is about the Akashic Records. And today we had picked what are the Akashic Records. So in a nutshell, the Akashic Records are comprised of all human events, such as your thoughts, your emotions, your words, and your intent, things of that nature. And that whether it has occurred in your past or your present or in the future, they're believed to be encoded in our non-physical plane of our existence, known as the etheric plane, which I don't know about you, but do you imagine anything when you hear the term etheric plane? Is there something you see visually when you hear that word?
For me personally, I connect that plane with very light energies. It's not anything heavy. It's like I can see fairies with their small, delicate, beautiful wings.
Right.
And I have a sense for the etheric plane, and this is only coming from me, so I'm just being creative and just getting out what's coming within myself. But it feels like it's a very thin atmosphere and a thin energy. I don't know.
Right, but clear.
How to express that.
Yeah, right. And yet it's clear, kind of crisp. You know, if you had to put it as a place where you sense something, you sense that it's very clear, and the air would be crisp and clean, and the environment would be. Does that make sense? Because visually, I will always see, like a garden or something where the setting is really beautiful. Where the mind can go to with just that natural understanding that there are elements there, and there are guides and angels. I guess when I say that term, that's what I think of, when I say etheric. Yeah. But I think everyone has their interpretation.
On another note, it's kind of interesting because we both perceive the etheric plane as something we can label as positive. I mean, fresh air, nice, clean, wonderful, crispy, everything positive. But we know that the Akashic Records also contain history that's not always very positive, but that can be very informative. So it's kind of, but I have a sense that if anyone ever comes through the etheric plane, they just run through it. That's my sense of it, because they can't stay there, right?
Right. Yeah. It's just a place that visually kind of pops into my mind, when I say the term. But I think for everyone, they may see nothing. It doesn't really catch to them. But for me, it just has a physical place, so to speak, and yet it's not, and it's just very pure, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So with that being said, part of the records, the way it's stated for us and for you, for the audience, you can think of the records as being an energetic database, kind of like, when you're, and a superhighway. So you go out on the internet, right, and you're out on the superhighway, and you go to a place or several places, and these places are for us that house the information that we're gathering for our clients. So to look at it that way, because in other aspects, me, the old-fashioned way, I'm going to see it more like a library, where that library has anything and everything you could ever think of. It has not only our own records and history, but the world's records. What's going on in the world, the records of land masses, different land areas, and how those areas may have changed over time. Because even the land has a story to tell. It has a history to it,
Yes.
So
yes.
that's
Definitely
kind of how, if you were to visualize it, that's how, I'm visualizing it. And then, of course, to help others understand it, it is kind of like going into a database where all records are housed. So, and of course, like we said, it contains a vast amount of information. Actually, my sense of it is that it contains all information. Would you agree, Sissy?
Yeah. Yes, all information from every soul, from the very time of starting existence into eternity, so to speak.
Right.
So it's interesting how you perceive it, because I have kind of two ways. Sometimes most of the times actually, when I go into the Akashic Records, I feel like my guides and everybody welcome me, and then I see a big book. So that book is the entire Akashic Records. So it's for everyone. So it's kind of having, containing a lot of information for just one big book, even if it's a big book. But other times I can see like an art, like drawers in an archive. You open the drawers and you can find files and you can find things. So it's a little bit like your library, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's funny. You see it as a book, and I see it as a library full of books. Because if for instance, going into someone's record, right? Like going into yours as an example. So there would be a book, but that book would be, for me, that book has a color associated with it. And that happened early on, going through some of the training, learning how to read the records. Every person that I had gone into the record store, every book had a color associated with it. I don't know if that happens to everyone. I just know my own experience. It did. I know that color, that's something I never fully investigated. I probably should, because I know it has meaning as well. And that
yes, it has meaning.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting because colors do have meaning, but
right.
It's like another tool that can help us to understand. And I want to tell everybody. I know you know this, Sissy, but the thing is that usually when we are, specifically the beginning, when we are so eager that we have connection with something, right. We are guided, so we hear, we see something, we have a communication going on. We can set the terms for how we want it to. So we can also, like you and I, when we talked, you want certain things, and I also put in that I want certain things, right? So if you have a great ability to perceive colors, that's a great way for you to use that too, right? So sometimes we just end up having a set of special experiences that are unique for us because we are good at them, right? So you probably have a very good perception of colors.
Right, and that's something I think I didn't know at the time or didn't really understand at the time, even though prior to that, working in Reiki, for instance, you're working with chakras and there's colors associated with the chakras, So I didn't even really correlate that part of, my education dealt very much in colors, just due to the chakras alone. So it may be a chakra thing, as to why each person I had have done a chart for, there's always a color associated with it. So that's interesting. I'll have to look more into that a little bit.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. To dive in here a little bit more about the Akashic Records. Of course, they go back to the beginning of time. That's how I understand it, and they're derived from Sanskrit, which is the word for Akasha, meaning ether, and in Hindu, Akash means sky or heaven, and that's kind of interesting too, because we were just talking about the etheric plane. So when you talk about the word Akashic, and its Hindu meaning of sky or heaven, I would imagine that's why I perceive it that way. When I hear the word Akash, or when I hear the word etheric plane. It's just my theory, anyways.
Yes, I know. But I'm intrigued by something else, that we have different dimensions, right? So we usually speak, this is our third dimension here on Earth. It's a dense world here, dense energy, it's thick. Sometimes if you have some challenges, it can feel like walking in mud, and we have talked about this. But nevertheless, I can't say the word, sorry.
Nevertheless, it's okay.
Yes. We have all sorts of experiences here, and because we were born here, we have been here. We have spent quite a lot of time here, so we have adjusted, so to speak. But the Akashic Records is actually in the fifth dimension, and the fifth dimension is all about information, so it makes sense.
Right.
All about information.
Right. And, you have a sense that, this last year, a lot of people are coming out of the third and going into the fourth and even the fifth, kind of get that sense that that's happening all around the world, where everyone's using the term, and even we use the term, the Great Awakening or awakening. And I think for us, for instance, that was something we've been perceiving for a couple of years now. I think this year, more and more people are speaking about that because that they're having that revelation, or they're seeing others are stepping into their, out of their third and into the fourth and fifth, And I think it's about connecting on that higher level, on the spiritual level, not so much the religious angle, right? Just the spiritual sense, and going within deeper than we might have ever gone before. I think a lot of people are doing that. I think you can only. Go ahead.
I actually said this quite a few times the past year, and if there ever is a blessing with people having to stay at home and not being able to make things as usual, there is actually one blessing, and it's like, for me, it's like turning back to the good old days when we didn't have a cell phone. We weren't able, connected all the time. Sometimes, we had a phone in our homes, and if people called and we were not home, it was not the end of the world. But now, if someone can't reach you, they say, I tried to search for you everywhere for a couple of hours. Where are you? I was starting to get worried. So you're supposed to be connected. My sense is that, if we are running around, always distracted by a lot of things, we can't listen within, can we? We're not going to hear anything. So once in a while, we need to have that. And maybe this have given us a little bit more time to go back and listen within.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, and this is why you and I, this whole past year, have been stating, turn off your TV, for instance, disconnect from some of that, because I think with TV, there's the programming, so to speak, and I think once you do that, you help kind of disconnect from some of the noise, because to me, that's how you would do it, is for you to go in would be to change what's going on in your environment, shift some of that energy. And just by shutting off the TV, you're shifting the energy in the room or in your home. And, it's not for everyone. Not everyone likes the quiet. They might prefer the background noise. But, once you do that, I think you don't have a lot of choice but to start to go in. And that includes putting down the phone for a little bit, or stepping away from the computer or the internet to just back away from all that, because we're so bombarded with information. And I think it's, it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. That's not an easy thing to do, is just put it all down for a little while and go outside, get out in the fresh air. And if you're in the city, go to a park, go or get away for a day, and just get back into nature. Because like you were saying, and when we were kids, you had a house phone, and and if someone called, either you had an answer machine or your parents were the ones who picked up the phone, but we weren't so connected like that, years ago.
And I remember we had, I can't say to anyone exact year and timelines, but I remember when I was a kid, we had 2 channels to watch TV, 2. And they didn't broadcast all the time, right? They had certain hours and they had certain things. And also, I think I was way over maybe 18, 20 before we started to have more channels. So I actually grew up without, and you just have to sometimes listen within. Because the thing is, if you ask others, and of course it's nice to ask friends for advice, family, and even turn to psychic. But everybody should know that what happens is, for instance, if you ask friends and family, they will give you their twist and turn and their opinion.
Right.
Because what they say is going to be based on their opinion, right? Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's wrong, but it doesn't mean it's right either. And if you go to a psychic, that's a good thing to do once in a while, but you can't do it on a daily basis. It's not going to help you because you need to listen within.
Right.
So take the guidance given from a psychic and use it as a roadmap. But it's not something that's going to be written in stone or information that will be, this is how, I'm sorry, I need to cough a little bit. Sorry.
Go ahead. That's okay. Completely understandable.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. But anyway, it's very, very good to know, and it's not going to be helpful. And anything that we do too much, don't be afraid making decisions, trying things out, because why are we here? Yes, we are here not to suffer, not to have a hard time, but to experience ourselves. And if everything is smooth all the time, how can you understand yourself and how can you experience things? Right?
This is true. Very true. It's funny too. I know we're a little off topic, but you're bringing up some memories here of our youth. When we were younger, because you were talking about 2 TV channels, I think we had 3 here when I was a kid. And really, the only time you really
were
got
rich.
to watch
3 channels.
Yeah, right. Right. And it's so funny, right? And then the only time you really were able to watch TV in my family was Saturday when there were cartoons on, right? When you were a kid. But most of the time, your parents sent you outside and had you play outside all day long, right? And they would, you would come back. You'd come back home when it was lunchtime or when you were getting hungry. But most of the time, I remember my mom just shoving us all outside and telling us to stay out there until the lights got dim or the lights went on in the neighborhood. Then you knew it was time to go home. You were coming close to dinner. Because you lived in, I lived in the same type of environment as you, where we had the seasons, summer, winter, summer, spring, winter, and fall. So yeah, when that time of year came around, you knew, it was time to go home for dinner when the lights were turning on in the street. Geez, that seems like such a long time ago to see. Anyways, I digress.
I just want to mention something else very, very quick here. That anyone can go into the Akashic Records, but what happens is, because it's so huge and have so much information, in order to get the proper answers, you have to be structured. So you have to have clear intentions. If you have unclear intentions, you will have unclear answers. So exactly what you're going into the Akashic Records with, that's what you're going to get.
Right. Right.
On both ends.
Well, and even just now, for us, let's say, doing a mini reading, for callers and for those in the chat room, the more specific the question, the more specific the answer is going to be. It's the same premise,
Yes. So actually doing a general reading for someone, I usually say that a general reading, that will bring up a little bit of everything that's going on. So it's not going to be detailed. It can't be because the question is not detailed.
Right. Basically, we're going to the etheric, so to speak, and asking, what information do you have for so-and-so today? Is there something you'd like so and so to know, and it's either their guides or our guides who are going to give that. But like you said, yeah, if it's a very broad question, you're going to kind of get that broad answer, so to speak. So,
So
I think it's did you want to do the bottom of the hour before we go into our callers and and into the blog?
Yeah, we do that. I just want to add something, a little bit of tiny information. One more thing. Can't stop talking, I know. And just want to let everyone know, we never ever access anyone's Akashic record without permission. And that means that we can't even read for if someone is asking for someone else and they don't have their permission. So there are only a few people around everyone, I mean very close, like kids, and we talked about small kids, not grown-up kids that are 30 years. They have to give their own permission, right? So your partner, spouse, if it's a friend, no, because you have to have their permission. It's very ethical, and I think it should be, because it can be very intrusive to learn things that we're not supposed to know. And I also feel that if we have that would be going into the Akashic records with the wrong intention, meaning that we would probably not be given the proper answer.
Right. It would be very wonky. Yeah, it would be very wonky for us as a practitioner. So I like that it has those ethics to it. So I think it's very important because you're doing much more of a deeper dive. And it's very personal. The information that you're gathering for someone is extremely personal. So I think you need their permission. I totally agree, and I agree with that. Overall, to have those ethics when doing that. Okay, I stuck my 2 cents in.
Okay. You can't stop talking either, right? I'm teasing you.
It's your turn.
We are both the funny ones today, okay?
Yes. Yeah. Only today?
Not only today, always.
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody listening, thank you. We're coming to taking your calls in a bit, and I know we have Lil Frey in the chat room as well, so it's the bottom of the hour. We passed that a little bit, but I want to tell you a few things. So we'd love to talk to you. There's still room to call in. You can call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number, and you can call in for questions, chat with us, share a story, or why not get a free mini reading live on air? And if you want to talk with us live on the show, press 1. You can also go to scrollsofthesoul.com/live, scrollsofthesoul.com/live, and listen live and text chat with us during our shows. On today's show, we are talking about soul realignment and the Akashic records. What are they? Plus your calls for questions and mini readings live on air in just a little bit. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne, or Sue for a personal paid reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And we are proud to tell everyone here that we have listeners in 27 countries and growing. So it's absolutely fantastic. I know when we had reached 15 or something, and now we're almost doubled. Thank you so much for honoring us. And basically, we have listeners to the show on all continents, all over the globe. That's very exciting. Thank you so much. We are honored. Our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is Thursday, February 11th, 2021, with Soul Sisters and hosts Sue and Anne. We will be holding open lines, giving you psychic advice and discussing the chakras and their meaning. Plus your calls as usual for questions and mini readings live on air. We'll be on 10 a.m. Pacific in the US, 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. You can always keep yourself updated on our shows at growthofthesoul.com/upcoming, growthofthesoul.com/upcoming. And you can listen to past episodes at growthofthesoul.com/past, growthofthesoul.com/past. So we have made this page with an easy system. So it's growthofthesoul.com/upcoming, past, host, be a guest, whatever. So you can try it out. It's easy. And we're always a live call-in worldwide radio show, broadcasting today from Arizona in the U.S., sunny Arizona, and sunny roads in Greece. And once again, there's still room to call in. You can get your spot in the queue. Call in at 213-943-3587. 213-943-3587. International callers dial +1 before the number and press 1 to talk with us live on the show. Yes, I think I'm done. Let's get back to the show.
Okay. Before I take any callers, so just hang in there, callers. I'd like to pull a card, 1 or 2 cards for our callers and listeners, and for us. I'm just going to go through them real quick. I grabbed a deck from, it's called Daily Guidance from Your Angels, Oracle deck from Dream Virtue. So the 2 cards I grabbed, the first one is Joy, and the second one is Play. So I'll just read through them real quick. And this is for everyone. Joy is the highest energy of all. It's the magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. It allows you to attract and create your present and future moments at all of their highest possible levels. And then Play is, beloved one, it's time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry, we will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, being giddy, and laughter will lift your energy so that you will return to work with a renewed perspective and highest of energy. So that's for all of us today. And then, Anne, was there anything?
Thank you.
Anything you pulled or no? Figured I'd check.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to tell what I actually pulled,
boy.
but it's I have the deck from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards from Colette Baron Reed, and I like this. I don't use it too much, but I felt for having it today. But actually, I'm going to have a second one because what I pulled was Rock Bottom. How about that?
Rock bottom. Oh, geez. I have joy,
but
joyful and playful.
Yes.
That's okay.
But here's the thing. Sometimes we tend to feel that certain cards are negative, but they are not. It's a way we label how the card is looking or what we see, or even the term to hit rock bottom. But sometimes when we are in the place of resistance, I've been there myself many times, maybe we need to come down to the very ground, to the bottom, so that we can start to open up, because some of us are very stubborn. I can admit that I've been very stubborn sometimes in my life. Even if I'm very spiritual and I have guidance and I can see and hear and sense, it's like sometimes we just do resist. And it's not, if we clear away, if we want to change, so we do a clearing, we clear away anything negative. It can actually be like starting with a blank canvas from the
Right.
rock bottom. How about that?
Yeah, this is true. I mean, it also can help you to, once you hit rock bottom, there's only one place to go. That would be up, right? So,
Yeah.
you definitely
I have
correct on that
something
one.
more. Not finished.
Okay. Hang on, guys.
Yes, it's okay. But while we are at that place, the next card I have is talking about listening, to really listen. And what have we been talking about today? To listen within, listen. Listen
Right.
to others, listen within, but go with what feels the best for you. And then your choices can't be wrong because they will be in alignment with you.
Right.
So peel off all of these things. Don't be afraid to feel like things are changing outside of you. They have to. If you want
Right.
your reality and your world to change, you can't keep it the same. You can't hold on to all of those things that you are used to. You need to let go of some of them, right?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to change. Yeah.
And that's not always easy, It's not always easy.
No, I know. I know.
We've all gone through it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
before I take any phone calls, so hang in just a little bit longer, guys. Is there any questions in the chat room?
Yes, actually we have. And we have Lil Fairy. Hi, Lil Fairy. I know. I see that you're on right now, so I know you hear us. Lil Fairy says, hello, Anne and Sue. Hope you're doing well. Just sharing that my female co-workers were informed that I'll be leaving the temporary job next week. And they were very surprised. Lol. They congratulated me, but some not so happy that they had to do my work. Okay, that was not a real question, actually. So,
Okay. But
I have a feeling. I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something anyway. When we are, people will always react from their own side of things. Sometimes it's the ego. Sometimes people can be compassionate and that they can feel for someone. They can feel the joy that someone is actually changing something they wanted to change. But some people are stuck in the energy of being a victim themselves, because that's what this really is. So when you try to project outside that everything is so bad for you and you can't really feel, you feel jealous, you don't want the other person to have success. That's what's created by the ego. So what you can do, disregard all of that. Just keep on what you're doing, Lil Fairy, and send light and love back. Don't let it affect you. Don't spread it. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Sissy?
Yeah, and I agree with you. You're 100% correct on that. And I'll add just a little bit more. This is for you. This is a gift for you to move on, and it's for you to better yourself and your future. And not everyone, being in a work environment that's made up of all types of people, and you can look at it as every people from different cultures, different education, different backgrounds, and the way they see things may not be the same as the way you see things. So I think it's probably not surprising in the same respect that not everyone was happy that you were going. And really, like Ann said, that's basically on them. That's not on you, because you're moving forward. You're doing something for the betterment of yourself. So I don't think that's selfish either. I think that's a good thing. And
Yes.
if someone else has an issue with that, that's really not your problem. Just kind of the way I look at it. Because it's the betterment for her, for yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Is there anybody else or any other questions in the chat room?
No, I just see someone here, relaxed specimen, who actually said hello there. We say hello too, and I actually said hello in the chat room, so I don't see that there's... if the friend, she says yes, and she isn't there, does it work for reading and ask about her? Okay. I don't really get the question. Do you?
Yeah. No, I think, let me go take a quick peek and see. Oh, hang on, little fairy. Yeah, yes, we try not to kill each other. Hold on. If the friend, she says yes and she isn't there, does it work? I'm not really sure what aspect here you're talking about. Could you clarify that, little fairy? Because I'm not really sure what you're asking.
No, it's not little fairy.
Relax. Okay, sorry, relax, specimen. Sorry about that. Okay, for reading, if a friend gives us, if the friend gives you permission, but remember, if as long as the friend gives you permission, then it should be okay. Otherwise, it may be a little wonky if the friend didn't give permission, would be basically the statement. So,
and usually we do avoid to talk too many details and too personal stuff in readings in general. But the thing with the Akashic Records readings and Soul Realignment readings are that they go very, very deep, and you can see a lot of details, and that can be very intrusive, and that's not appropriate. So you're not going to share that. It's like Sue and I talking about someone else and sharing a lot of information about that person, and that's not correct. But in an ordinary reading, we are usually not given so many details. And sometimes if we do see something, we may not express that, not because we fear anything, because it doesn't feel appropriate. There are certain things you don't say if it's not for that specific person, so to say.
Right. Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, definitely. If you're asking on behalf of a friend, where you got the permission, that's absolutely fine. Reading for a friend, to ask about her in reading, how to get rid of a heartbreak. Is it as in to break it off with someone? Because the question is how to get rid of a heartbreak, or is it because that person's brokenhearted? We need just a little bit more clarity on that. Sissy, in the meantime, why don't I grab a phone call? We'll grab a call and then come back. So hang on 1 second. Okay, guys, coming over to you. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, lady. This is Regina. Long time.
Hi, Regina.
How are you? Welcome.
All right. I'm enjoying the show, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I've been missing you guys' shows. I've just been so busy, and I'm like, no, I'm going to get it today. So I'm glad I called in time. It has been.
So what's going on?
I got stuff going on. But this is more of love life. I'm dealing with this guy, and I've spoken to you guys about this certain guy back in the early part of last year. And so lately, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, this past Saturday, I was just joking with him on text or whatever, and then all of a sudden he's just not calling me. If I call, he's not answering, and I'm just like, okay. So this morning I'm like, you can answer my texts, but you don't want to answer my calls, and everything was going good for the past 7 months. I mean, I don't know what's going on. So, so what is the deal with him? Like, why is he doing this again with me? Because I just can't do this with him back and forth. I just can't.
Right, and you answered your own question. Well, not so much what's going on with him, but what the answer is. You already know the answer. Just that kind of just came through real quick. So the answer, I'm not really answering your question per se, but your answer as far as what you need to do, which is healthy and conducive to you, that is already there. As far as confirming him, you know, here's the strange part. I'm getting a big fat wall. I'm not actually seeing anything, so I'm gonna actually ask Anne, and then I will browse for this question to see if I can get something rather than Sissy.
Hi, Regina. Hi, Regina. I'm here. So happy. Thank you so much for honoring us with your call. We just love to talk to people, and I do remember, I had no clue what we said last time, but that's okay. We want to have fresh energy and fresh readings, right?
Exactly.
And when you were talking, I had a few things coming to me, and I have a sense that he's once in a while stepping back into old patterns and old ways of behaving. I feel that there's a lot of things that he needs to work with himself and within, and sometimes that can be feeling a little bit challenging, so people tend to take the easy route and maybe skip that if they don't have to, if they're not forced to do it, so to speak. Or sometimes it can take also some time. It's more like a process. But you don't deserve someone that will project their stuff on you, if that makes sense. So you deserve someone who can work on their things. And of course, sometimes we do ask for help and we do need a little bit of support. That's okay. But not to come back to behavior that's going to be difficult for you because you feel left outside. You don't understand what's going on, and it's not fair to you. And have you tried to talk to him about this? I bet you have, right?
Yes, I have, because we had an understanding when he came back, and everything was fine. I mean, you know, you go through your little ups and downs. I mean, that's just anything of a relationship or anything. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like a change just went off. I'm like, oh, we reverting back this again? Like, wait a minute. Like, I don't understand what's the issue. Like, because the funny thing, I called him on my work phone. I got a cell phone, right, because I work from home. And I called him, and he picked up the phone. But when I call, because he doesn't know that other number. He doesn't know that number. No. But he'll pick up that phone. But when I call from the regular phone, my personal cell, like, you know, he's missing my call. So I'm like, okay, this is like, I'm not understanding. Like, we were doing well. I'm like, what? Like, I don't. So it's just like I'm trying to, like, separate my feelings because, you know, I was already in it. Like, I really was in it, like, deep. And it's just like now I'm just trying to, you know, I know it's going to be a process, of letting that go. I know that. But it's just like, nobody does, you know, I don't deserve that. Like, if you're going to pick up the phone from another phone number, but you won't pick it up from my personal phone number, okay, something is not clicking right.
Yes, exactly. And I think, as Sue said, it's like when we ask a question, many times we have our answer in our own question, like you had, because I feel he's a great person. He has many good personality traits, and he feels to be a very nice. I sense that deep down he's a very beautiful soul, actually. But sometimes that gets pushed down underneath layers of so many other things, and he can't expect someone else to fix that, or he can't even, I don't think he does actually, but it's like he can't take himself out of it. And if he can't, are you prepared and are you willing to live with this coming back once in a while?
No, because that was the funny thing, because it's been consistent. When I say, I mean, no breaks, no nothing, just everything was good. I mean, I know we haven't seen each other last month because I know he's been busy with work, and I understood that, but I'm like, I just feel something just different. It's like, and then like yesterday he didn't call or text. I'm like, okay, something is off. So I don't know, but I'm not willing to take that back. And if you're not being honest with me of why you're doing the things that you're doing, I mean, if you can't open up to me in that light of whatever going on with you, and how can I even be sympathetic or empathetic or, compassionate about whatever going on in your life? I mean, I don't know if you don't let me in. How can I?
No, exactly. I have a sense, but it's I'm not the divine source, so to speak, because we are not. We're just given, like reading the energy, certain situation and a certain specific moment, so to speak. That's what happens in my sense when we are working as psychics. But I have a sense that you will pick and choose for the long term to maybe free yourself from this. So what one can do when we go through this, I'm not saying that you should walk away, but try it out, do what feels good for you, how you want to proceed, because it's your experience and you have to get the understanding from it. That's important. Nothing is right, nothing is wrong, okay? But set a timeline for yourself so that you don't drag this on if you see this repeating itself. Does that make sense?
Right. But I don't. Do you feel that he's gonna reach out to me? Do you feel that?
I sense that the one who may walk in the end is you. I don't sense that he will be the one walking, because it's like he has this pattern. He's going to reach out to you again. That's what I sense. He can't leave you, but he feels also maybe too sure of you. So he's very certain. And when he feels comfortable, it's like that is when this is repeating itself. That's my sense of it. I don't feel he does it to be bad or to challenge you. It's just something he's used to this. He have done this for a very long time, and I feel that in essence he would need to look within and deal with it and get rid of those fears that are preventing him from moving forward. But only he can do that, right?
Right. And I think like sometimes he just have a conflicting thing going on, because I know it's more with him, but I just like, okay, if I put myself out there, you can put yourself out there too. But when you have been dealing like being raised in a certain environment of how, if you're from the north or south or from a different country, everybody has a different way of doing things. And it's just like I'm more open. In my eyes, I'm more open, but I just feel like, okay, I'm working with you because I'm trying to understand you. But I just feel like, you can't just keep doing this. I'm not going to be the one. I just feel like I just need to say that to him and just be done, and just.
Yeah, I fully understand. I think that Sue has something to you too. So let's hear what Sue has to say.
Okay, thank you.
Regina.
Thank you.
Hi, love. So early on, there were a couple of things you stated, and I was able to kind of ask in those terms. So what I actually understand is going on is a pattern you're extremely familiar with. And this is the whole basis for why, when you got back together, right, and you put your foot down and said, okay, it's going to be A, B, and C, and we're not going to bear from that, right? So there's a history of a pattern, and that pattern is repeating itself again. So it's definitely on you, okay, as far as what you do about that. If you repeat the same pattern as before, then he knows he doesn't have to call. He can call when it's good for him, right?
Yeah.
And so, because you're going to be there waiting. And that's the thing is, maybe you shouldn't pick up the phone if you get the phone call.
And that's so funny that you said that too, because I said the same thing. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, because you feel like you can answer my texts, but you cannot answer my calls. No, I'm not going to even try to entertain that because
See,
you know,
you proved it
I
to
don't
yourself.
have time to game. Right, I don't have time to game.
Right.
And I told him that too. Yeah.
So you already know the answer. That's the thing. And that's probably why I'm kind of getting this wall. The wall really is about what he's projecting, and that's why, you know. So I went a little different route here, and and it's basically a matter of what he's putting up. The same wall I'm seeing is the one you're getting. Okay, so people put up walls for several reasons, right? And historically, you know what that reason is from history. So you actually have the answer. I don't have to give you the answer because you know that's why you laid down, you know, you put your foot down, right? And said only A, B, and C. If you vary from those, you know, that's it. Well, he varied from those, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think you know because the pattern is the same.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Because you know. And then the funny thing, he said he was not going to do that. He wasn't going to try to be the old way. But it's like, okay, wait a minute. This is crazy. I don't know if it's because of something I said on Saturday. Last Saturday, I don't even know. You know, it's just crazy. But I was just playing with him, you know, just joking around. But I don't know. It's just something just different, you know. I don't know. And you're something different.
Right. There is, and that's what I mean. You already have the answers, but I do have to wrap it up, Regina, because I've got other callers and some questions in the chat room. Look, keep us informed on how you're doing. My thing is about you and how you're doing, you know. And you will prevail. Okay, you will do. You will prevail. Okay?
Right. All right. Thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Regina.
Have a great day.
You too.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Bye, love. Bye. Okay. Sissy, the chat room. In the chat room.
Yes. Okay.
So, hang on, callers.
So, yes. Relaxed specimen. Did I pronounce that right this time?
Yes.
I do my best. Trying to be the funny one again. I know that we are two funny ladies here, but anyway.
Go ahead,
I just have to joke. I know. But hi, relaxed specimen. And we are actually sorry to hear that you have a heartbreak. You feel heartbroken. Okay. So how to get rid of a heartbreak? Do you want to start, Sissy, or do you want me to?
Oh, it's not something that, it's like a broken leg or like a physical, something that's physically broke. We can't snap our finger, right, and say that that's healed 24 hours later. Clearly, it's not something that heals, you know, within 24 hours. So a heartbreak or a broken heart is the same. It's individual. Each one of us work through or go through the emotion of a heartbreak differently, and there's no time on it. What I can tell you, which might help understand, is that a heartbreak or being heartbroken is kind of like going through the death of something because it's an ending. But the good news to that ending, in one respect, is that there's always going to be a new beginning. So while an ending may seem like the death of something, which it is, because we feel it so deeply that sometimes we wish we had a physical break, right? Than an emotional break. That there are steps when we lose someone, for instance, when we lose someone from a death, there are certain steps we go through in the process of the grieving process. So what I can say to you is that there are going to be steps. There's about 3 of them you're going to go through. But how much time that is going to take, that's going to be on you, because you have to go through those emotions. One of them, just I can throw out there, one of them, once you get through sorrow, then you might even go through anger. Okay, so that's just another aspect. And then there's that kind of becoming resolute once we get through the anger. There's between 3 to 5 steps when we have loss, because heartbreak is loss, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so,
yes, it is loss.
With that respect, quite honestly, it's the grieving process, and that's where it's gonna, that's gonna take time for anyone. That the grieving process takes time, because what's woven in the grieving process is the healing, the aspect of healing. And for each of us, there's no clock on that. We don't have a time. Every one of us is different when it comes to how we heal, especially how you heal the heart.
Yeah.
So that's probably not the greatest answer, but I'm hoping that one helps. Definitely look at loss. When people lose someone, the anger, yes, I got no anger. Right, okay, so then you're in the stages. Okay, so you're going through the stages of loss. And now, since anger is kind of left, now there's going to be reflection, looking at a lot of aspects. And peace will come. Once you let go of the anger, peace does start to come. You may feel like you're in limbo right now, because you are letting go of the anger, or the anger's gone. But that's going to be the first thing I would honestly suggest is they say one step at a time. So each day, some days may seem longer than others. Pick something that you've never done before and try to attempt to do that. Just something small. It doesn't have to be anything big. So for a couple minutes or even a couple hours, you take your mind away from what you're feeling, and you just forget for a little bit. You never truly forget, but you do for a little bit, and that's why just trying something different and new that you've never done. And it doesn't have to be anything, costly. So, but and look up the grieving process. Look up the steps that people go through and how it is that they go through some of those processes. It may help. It's the only thing I could think of. Is there anything you can add, Sissy?
Yes, I want to add something very short, actually. And it's challenging. It is challenging. But the best remedy is to avoid, to resist, to look at how you really feel. So accept whatever you feel. So if you feel angry, accept that. If you feel sadness, accept that. Accept yourself. And sometimes we need to distract ourselves, like Sue said. Do something that's really, really bringing you into different energy and vibration. Don't do it on a permanent basis, because we also need to have a look. This will not go away if we resist it. If we resist something, it will remain a longer time. But if we try to do our best, even if it's hard for us, then we can release it and we can move on, right? So we hope that all of this made sense to you, and Sue did a really good explanation for you. Thank you so much, and we wish you everything good, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done, quite honestly, but I can tell you it's definitely that sense of loss, like someone's passed away, like we've lost someone. It's the best analogy I could think of. And there is a process through that. So I hope that helps. Okay, I'm going to move over to our callers. Okay.
Yeah.
If there's any more anything more said, just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we can take both, actually.
Yeah.
We have only 15 minutes.
Yep. Okay.
And we need to wrap up the show for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me grab the call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, yes. My name is Catherine, and I'm calling from New York.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Fine, thank you. How are you?
What can we do for you?
I have 2 projects that I'm currently working on, and I'm not sure which one to kind of put out into the world. One of the initials on them is a U, and the other is a C.
Okay. Can you state that one more time? I lost you for a quick second there.
Oh, I'm currently working on 2 projects.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to figure out is which one to put out into the world first. One of them starts with the letter C and the other with the letter U.
Okay. Well, the first thing I got right away was actually the letter C. For the second, yeah. If the I would go with the second one first and the first one second. That makes sense. So yeah. Yeah, C definitely. Yeah, it came in really strongly as the first option. So, now you have me curious. let me see it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious too because, see, I thought I was going to do the U one first, truthfully, only because, I don't know, I had told somebody about it, and I don't know if he's going to try to, God forbid, like try to steal some of the intellectual property.
Right.
So that's why I was kind of putting the pressure on myself to put the U one out first. But I could see why you say the C because it is more complete. It is more ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that the other person will try to do something?
I see a number 2 again connected with this other person, but let me see if Anne, because we're kind of on a time crunch right now, see if Anne has a little more she can add. No, it's not you, it's us. We were running out on clock here. Go ahead, Anne.
I actually, hi, Catherine.
Hi.
I actually have something. I feel the same as Sue, actually, the C. And it feels like it's going to be the easiest. That's what I'm sensing. And I hear something like being able to proceed because it's more, you said it's more complete. And I feel it's going to be like your sacred pool after that. So it's going to be something you can use for the next one. But I'm actually, it made sense to me when you talked about the concern of someone, because it feels like the you one, I have a great feeling that you should actually make sure you do it yourself. Don't involve anyone if you can, because maybe you find someone else, I don't know. But this guy doesn't feel okay, actually. I don't feel he has clear and good intentions. I don't want to judge him, but I don't have a good feeling about him. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does. I normally don't share with anyone, but it was kind of I guess I was a little bit vulnerable, and it was like a group thing where he said it was a class, and we'd all be working on something together. And yes, he's already showed me that he's he's already given me some red flags. I just hope he won't, try to do it himself.
I don't feel he will if you don't give him the opportunity. So just try to be polite, kind of pretend, when we go outside, we whistle and we say it's raining outside, blah, blah, blah. Try not to get into any discussions of anything. Just slide through and get out of it.
Yeah, I won't contact him anymore. If he contacts me, I'll just say I'm busy or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this proprietary to you, or is it something you wanted to make proprietary to you?
I had the idea, so now I'm fleshing it out.
Right.
So yeah, it is my, my creation, so to speak.
Right. But it hasn't been submitted in any legal sense, right? Yeah, it's just, an idea at this point, or?
And at this point, it's an idea, but yeah, as soon as I have it fleshed out, I'll submit it to legal,
right?
For copyright.
Yeah. Please do that, and definitely, like Ann said, I would definitely cut off. You already knew the answer actually when you asked the question. As much as you liked you, as much as you wanted you knew you wasn't the answer, that C was. C was the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, Catherine,
we got to want it to come from me. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. You got it. We've got to wrap up. But call us back and keep us informed. I would be really curious, about C and U and how that goes. I think you're going to stick to C. So just my feeling on it.
Thank you. Thank you both so very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with all of it.
Thank you. Good luck and many blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, C feels way better than you, Sissy. Just my sense on it.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
yeah, Catherine, I think she's
we're
still on, so I hope she catches us up. We're on every week at this time, Catherine. So call back next week and let us know how it went. Okay, sorry, Sissy. Go ahead.
It's okay. I know we don't have time, so I'm going to. This is just something I felt guided to do very fast here. We have a few callers left in the queue, and I pulled a card for you who are in the queue. So if this makes sense to you or not, but I'm sorry we couldn't take your calls today. Please call into our next show. And the card for you is Archangel Ariel. It's a very delicate and sensitive and, like etheric. That's how I perceive. I connect Archangel Ariel with the nature and fairies and things, but that's me. Spread your wings. Do not hold back right now. So now is a great time to just proceed. And the timing is perfect and you're ready. So just take the step. And even if you don't take a big step, take small steps towards what you want to do. It's time. I hope really that made sense. And on today's show, we have talked about Soul Realignment and the Akashic Records. What are they? Plus your calls for questions and me readings live on air. And if we didn't have a chance to take your call today, we're sorry. And please call into our next show. Our next upcoming show, Sorry. Our next upcoming show here on Scrolls of the Soul Radio is next Thursday, February 11th, 2021, with Soul Sister show and host Sue and Ann holding open lines, giving psychic advice and discussing the chakras and their meaning. So next show will be open lines, and we will have room for many more calls. So please call in. And we'll be on the same time as usual, 10 a.m. Pacific in the U.S., 6 p.m. London, 7 p.m. Sweden, and 8 p.m. Greece in Europe. Listen to replays of all our shows anytime at scrollsofthesoul.com/past, and keep yourself updated on upcoming shows at scrollsofthesoul.com/upcoming. But you can also go to YouTube. Just search for Scrolls of the Soul Radio directly on YouTube, and you can find full past episodes and upcoming shows. And if you'd like to connect with me, Anne or Sue, for personal reading, you can find us at scrollsofthesoul.com/Sue or scrollsofthesoul.com/Anne. And of course, thank you all for listening and calling in, and we're back next Thursday, February 11th, with open lines. Sissy, do you have anything you want to tell the listeners before the show ends?
Of course I do. Thank you, everyone, both who call in as well as who ask questions on the board in the chat room. Ann and I absolutely are grateful and thankful that you entrust your questions to us. And we're just amazed each week that you guys continue to call. So thank you so much. We wish everyone the best and hope things turn out in the manner you hope they do. With that being said, I'm going to yell up to my mom. Angels watch over you all night long. Sissy?
Love, light, peace, and joy to all of you. Bye.
Bye.